These three things might be holding you back from over $100,000 a year in your business if you're just getting started out, and it might be holding you back from further than that if you've already achieved that milestone. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. Welcome back to another video, guys. Glad to see you. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Ty. I'm a marketing and sales consultant. I help people close more deals and build better offers. So let's jump right into it. So the first of the three things I'd say is consistency. Being consistent is actually way harder than it sounds. And if you can just be more consistent to those around you, consistency alone will beat out 90% of the competition at the ground level. Consistency will take you so far. Just push through. If there's something you know you should be doing, if there's something you know is going to take you to that next level, just do it. You're not in the mood, just do it. You don't feel like it, just do it. But you have to think a little bit as well, right? You have to use your brain, because consistency alone is one thing, but you also have to be consistent in the small amount of things that are actually going to move the needle forward, the small amount of things that are actually going to get you results over a course of time. And those things are usually the most monotonous, most boring, most tedious tasks. And that's what makes it so difficult, because success and consistency is not sexy. And if you don't know what those small things are that push the needle forward, the best way to learn is to take action and just get started and keep moving forward. Either that, or you find a mentor who's been in your specific situation and knows how to get you from point A to point B. And ever since starting my business, I can tell you I have so much more respect for people that are actually able to do this and do it consistently, for people that are able to consistently do outreach every day, consistently take calls every day, consistently manage their team every day, consistently track their numbers every day. It's so much different looking from outside in, but once you start doing anything that's hard at all, you gain so much more respect for the people that have been in it for a long time. For example, I recently just joined a boxing gym, and when I was first looking at the sport of boxing, the combat sport of boxing, I look at it so much different than I did before, because looking from the outside in, it doesn't seem that hard. Yes, it seems like it's tiring, the conditioning side of it. But one thing that I really learned since joining the boxing gym, I actually just got back from practice. That's why I'm wearing the apparel here. One thing I learned since joining the boxing gym is all the technique that goes into it, all of the conditioning that goes into it, the repetition that goes into it. And I have so much more respect for boxers now, just because I jumped in their shoes for a little while, for the last couple months. When I watch a boxing fight now, I see it in a completely different light. Next I'll jump into, honestly, is focus. Whatever you put your attention on will grow. Whatever you track will naturally get better. If you focus on something good, it'll get better. If you focus on something bad, it'll get worse. If you focus on your strengths, you'll get stronger. If you focus on your weaknesses, you'll get weaker. And that's a huge aspect to when it comes to what you tell yourself, when it comes to what you actually track and keep on top of in your business. The more you track your sales metrics, the more you're going to start doing little things, making little shifts, and notice little shifts that either rise your close rate and lower your close rate, that help you book more calls and book less calls. The more you focus on what's going well in your business, what's going well in what you're doing, the more motivation, the more energy you're going to have to put towards growing that thing. A lot of times we see people that are doing better, or we focus on the negative way too much. We focus on what's going wrong way too much, and we miss how far we actually have gotten. And if you can have a really good synergy, a really good combination of being able to realize where you need to improve, being able to realize where you're messing up, and also realizing how far you've come and how well you're doing and how good of a situation you're in, you're gonna be able to solve those problems without feeling like crap for having those problems. And lastly is patience. At the sales office, we also used to call it aggressive patience. You need to be aggressively relentless in heading towards your goals, but at the same time be insanely patient as if you weren't. There are so many benefits to playing the long game and truly building that foundation for what you're doing, rather than seeing success right away and then failing and having it all crumble and just not knowing what to do as soon as you run into that first hurdle. And I'll tell you a little bit of a story. When I worked at the sales office a couple years ago, we had this program where you would start off, we did door-to-door sales. You would start off doing door-to-door sales. And if you were really talented at it, if you were good at selling, they would give you the opportunity to train someone. And if you showed that you were good at training, good at teaching someone else how to sell, not just good at selling for yourself, they would give you another person and another person and another person to train. And if you were so good at training and managing a team where you got to the point where you had 10 people on your team or more, they would actually move you into another location. They would buy you a location so that you could expand the company, expand into another branch, and cover more territory for the company. And you would get a promotion to management where you were managing your own location because you've shown that you were competent in managing a certain amount of people. Now, that is amazing if you get to that point. That's awesome. You went through the trenches. Most people took a year to 2 years, sometimes 3, to get to that point where they were able to open up their own branch if they were competent enough. Now, there was one person, though, who was able to do this in only a few months. They were given a lot of guys quickly. They showed natural talent of motivating people to sell, natural talent of selling themselves. They went out there, they crushed it out in the field door to door. Their guys crushed it out in the field door to door, and they got promoted right away. Now, they joined this company in the beginning of the summer. So before it even hit winter, before it even got cold out, I'm in Canada. I don't know where you guys are from, but here in Canada, in the winter time, it gets cold, really cold, negative 20 something degrees Celsius and sometimes worse. So this person got promoted into their own office before it even hit winter time. Now, what happened was, as soon as they opened their office, as soon as it hit winter time, they ran into struggles. One, his guys were going out there in a completely new environment that they haven't experienced before, and something that he, as a trainer, as a manager, as a team leader, also hadn't experienced before. And the struggle with that was he wasn't able to lead them properly. He wasn't able to relate to their stories. He wasn't able to relate to how they were feeling out there in the field. He wasn't able to give them proper feedback. He wasn't able to give them any tips and tricks on how he was able to push through the cold, how he was able to keep knocking and keep his attitude right and make sales and get into houses so that he could stay warm. He wasn't able to give them any tangible, any real feedback or any kind of relatability because he hadn't gone through it himself. He hadn't gone through a season of the winter. He's never done it before. So to try and teach 10 to 15 to 20 people to do something you had never done yourself and cannot relate to, and they look at you knowing that you've never done it yourself as well, this is not, some kind of secret, then it makes it so much harder to lead, and leading them just starts to crumble. It started to fall apart, and he ended up losing most of his team throughout that winter season. Now, obviously, he picked it back up and was able to really turn things around by the time summer came. But that is one of the pitfalls of seeing success too fast, of not being patient, of getting your cake right away and eating it too. And people really need to see the benefit and really need to appreciate the long game. If you can wait it out, if you can hustle it out, if you can be in the field and work on the ground level in your business as long as you can and see all the different avenues, see every single pitfall, see every single scenario that leads to failure, every single scenario that held you back, every single scenario that stopped you from moving forward. As soon as you do move forward, as soon as you move up into a higher level, as soon as your business reaches 100K a year, 100K a month, you're going to be able to look back and help those people that are now in the position you were in. If you're running advertising for your agency and you hire a guy to run advertising for your agency and you bring on a client that he's never worked with, but you worked with in the past because you ran ads for years before you ever hired someone to do it for you, now it's way easier for you to give him pointers, give him tips, and say, hey, these are some tips, these are some tricks, this is how I would manage this client, and if this happens with the ad account, we'll be able to make tweaks here and there. There's so many benefits that you'll be able to bring to the table. Experience, that's the main thing. You cannot outdo experience. Experience is the most valuable asset you'll have. So If you see success right away, great. Find a way to work with it. If it's taking a long time, have patience and honestly appreciate the long game, because when you run into a hurdle, you're going to have a leg up over that guy who was there in the first couple months, who was there in the first year. So don't feel bad about playing the long game. And that's it for the video, guys. I just wanted to talk about that real quickly. Those 3 things that could be stopping you from growth: consistency, focus, and patience. If you stay consistent with what you're doing, pick a method that you know works, stay consistent until you master it. Focus on what is good. Focus on improving what is better. Stay away from just meaningless focus on negativity. And patience. Be relentlessly patient, not lazy, not stopping, but be patient while you're pushing forward. Be patient while you're taking action. Take aggressive action, but be patient for the results, because nothing good ever came in a day. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy this really quick little chat here. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.